My name is Claire Donovan. I'm 34 years old. For most of my life, my parents introduced my brother as their legacy. And me? I was Claire. She's in marketing. Not our daughter Claire, not the one who built her own company, just Claire, the filler, the footnote, the extra sentence no one asked for. Last November, November 18th, 2025, I sat in a glass-walled office in downtown Seattle, rain tapping against the windows, while a probate attorney adjusted his glasses and opened a folder with my last name on it. That's when everything changed. He read 7 words. And my father said out loud, "That's not possible." My mother didn't speak. She just stopped breathing for a second, like her body forgot how. My brother, Ethan, the golden child, actually laughed, until the lawyer opened the second envelope. That's when the room went silent. Because this time, it wasn't just money. It was proof. Let me take you back. Because stories like this don't start with inheritances. They start with patterns. Growing up in Bellevue, Washington, there were always 2 versions of our family. Version 1, this is Ethan Donovan, Stanford graduate, future CEO. Pause, smile, pride. Then, and this is Claire. She's creative. Creative, that was the word they used when they didn't want to say less impressive. Ethan got the private school, I got the public one because it builds character. Ethan got a car at 16. I got rides, if it was convenient. Ethan's college tuition, fully paid. Mine, student loans teach responsibility. The thing about being the other one is this: you stop asking, you stop expecting, and eventually you stop noticing the imbalance because it becomes normal. When I was 19, my grandfather, Arthur Donovan, called me into his study. Old leather chair, smell of cedar and books. He handed me a folder. "I set something up for you," he said. "A trust, $300,000. I laughed. I thought he was joking. "I've watched your parents," he continued. "They invest differently in each of you." He didn't say it cruelly. Just factually. "This is yours. At 25, it transfers fully to you, no one else." He leaned forward. "Promise me you won't let anyone take it from you." I promised. That same night, my parents handed me paperwork. "Just standard trust administration forms," my mom said. "Helps us manage it until you're settled." My dad added. I signed, all of it, without reading, because they're parents. That was my first mistake. By the time I turned 25 in 2017, I had $92,000 in student loans, a tiny apartment in Capitol Hill, a job at a startup, barely staying alive. I asked about the trust once, just once. My dad didn't even look at me. "It's invested long term. Don't touch it." So I didn't. I worked. I struggled. I built my own life. Meanwhile, Ethan went to Stanford, then Wharton, then launched a startup with family backing. Family backing, that's what they called it. In 2024, my startup finally took off. We landed a major contract, I made my first real money, and for the first time in my life, I didn't need them. That's when things started to feel off, because suddenly, they were proud of me. Too proud. Then my grandfather died, October 2025, and everything unraveled. Back to that office. November 18th. The lawyer cleared his throat. "Mr. Donovan's estate is valued at approximately $3.8 million. Everyone leaned in. Standard stuff. House in Kirkland, lake property, investments. Then I leave the majority of my estate to my granddaughter, Claire Donovan. Silence. My father, "That's not correct." The lawyer didn't look up. "It is." Then came the second envelope, handwritten, my grandfather's letter. "Claire," it began, "if you're hearing this, it means I ran out of time to fix what was done to you while I was alive." My stomach dropped. "I reviewed your trust in 2023. I discovered it had been nearly emptied." My head snapped up. "What?" The lawyer kept reading. "Withdrawals totaling $278,000 between 2017 and 2022. All authorized with your signature. Except, they weren't yours." My mother started shaking her head. No, that's not." The lawyer kept going. "I had the signatures analyzed. Every one of them forged." Ethan went pale. My father didn't move. "Those funds," the letter continued, "were used to finance Ethan's business ventures." There it was, out loud. Documented, irrefutable. I couldn't feel my hands. 5 years. 5 years I struggled, while they were funding him with my money. The letter didn't stop. "I have documented everything. Bank records, emails, authorization forms. If this will is contested, all evidence will be forwarded to the King County District Attorney." That's when my father sat down. Slowly, like gravity hit him all at once. My grandfather's final line, "You were never second best, you were simply treated that way." The meeting ended 20 minutes later. But the fallout? That took weeks. My parents called nonstop. Texts, emails, voicemails. Not one apology. Not one. Just, "We can fix this privately. Don't ruin the family. You're overreacting." Ethan called once. "I didn't know," he said, and I believed him. That's the worst part about golden children. They don't see the system. They just benefit from it. 2 weeks later, the wire hit my account on December 9th, 10:12 a.m. I remember the exact time because I stared at the notification longer than I should have. $410,000. Not a cent short. No message. No apology. Just a transaction. Clean. Clinical. Final. That's the thing about people like my parents. They don't fix things, they contain them. 3 days later, I got an email from my father. Subject line, "Moving forward." Not "I'm sorry." Not "We were wrong." Just, "Moving forward." I opened it. Read every word. "Claire, we believe it's best for everyone if we put this unfortunate misunderstanding behind us. The funds have been returned in full, and there is no need to continue escalating this situation. Family is more important than money. We hope you can act accordingly." I read it twice. Then I forwarded it to my lawyer. No reply. Because that was the moment it fully clicked. They didn't think they'd done anything wrong. They thought they'd settled a debt, like paying off a parking ticket. That same week, something else happened, something I didn't expect. Ethan showed up at my office, unannounced, Tuesday afternoon, 3:40 p.m. My assistant buzzed me. "There's a man here asking for you, says his name is Ethan." I almost said no. Almost. Then I said, "Send him in." He looked different. Not the polished version I was used to seeing at family events. No tailored blazer, no confidence. Just tired. He didn't sit right away. Just stood there, looking at me like he was trying to recognize someone he'd known his whole life. "I read the report," he said. No greeting, no small talk. I leaned back in my chair. "Okay." Silence. Then, "I didn't know it was your money." "I know, but I knew it was a lot." I didn't respond. He ran a hand through his hair. "They told me it was family investments, that Grandpa helped set things up." "That part wasn't a lie," I said. "Just incomplete." He let out a short, bitter laugh. "Yeah, that seems to be a theme." Then he finally sat down, leaning forward, elbows on his knees. "I built my company thinking I earned it," he said. "You did," I replied. He shook his head. "No, I built it on a foundation I didn't question." That landed differently. Because that was the first honest thing anyone in my family had said. "I would have taken loans," he said. "I would have figured it out." "I know. But I didn't have to." No, another silence. But this one wasn't heavy, just real. "I don't expect you to forgive them," he said. "Good. I don't even know if I do." That surprised me. He looked up, straight at me. "For what it's worth, I'm sorry." And there it was, the first apology. Not from my parents, from the one person who benefited the most. I nodded. "That matters." We didn't hug. This isn't that kind of story. But something shifted. Not repaired, not fixed, just acknowledged. After he left, I sat there for a long time, thinking about something my grandfather wrote. "You were simply treated that way. Not born second. Not destined to be less. Just treated like it. And treatment can change, but only if you stop accepting it." A week later, my parents hosted their annual holiday party. They've done it every year for 20 years. Same guest list, same catering, same performance. I wasn't invited, but I heard about it because people talk. Apparently someone asked where I was. My mother smiled and said, "Oh, Claire's very busy these days." Busy. Not estranged, not gone. Just conveniently explained away. Some things never change. But here's what did. In January 2026, I signed the lease on a second office, then a third. By February, my company had grown to 18 employees, people who chose to be there. People who saw me. Not as the other one, but as the one in charge. And in March, I launched something new. The Arthur Donovan Initiative. $200,000 to start. Grants for young entrepreneurs who didn't have family backing, who had to build everything from nothing. Application question number 1. Describe a time you realized you were underestimated. We received 1,842 applications in the first week. Turns out there are a lot of other ones out there. More than anyone admits. I still think about my parents sometimes. Not with anger. Not even with sadness. Just distance. Because closure doesn't always come from apologies. Sometimes, it comes from understanding exactly who people are and choosing not to shrink yourself to fit their version of you anymore. Ethan texts occasionally, updates about his company, questions about mine. We're something. Not close, but not strangers either, and that's enough. Because in the end, they built one child with my resources and ignored the other one. But they forgot something important, the one they ignored. Learned how to build without them. And that's a much harder thing to take away.